I decided to come to Yenching because of my experiences in undergrad as an engineer. Working with groups like Engineers Without Borders, I very quickly realized the importance of China in international development funding. However, the narratives I learned in my undergraduate institution about China versus when I studied abroad in China were very different. And I wanted to come to Yenching to keep exploring the differences in those narratives and why they came about.
I am Chinese and I love China. I hope to have more opportunities to observe the Chinese society I am used to from different perspectives and study the changes and development of China and the world. Therefore, I chose to come to Yenching Academy for my master's degree. The experience of studying in YCA has provided me with a platform full of possibilities. YCA encouraged me to jump out of my comfort zone and expand my field of study. And YCA let me really understand that we, as young scholars, should shoulder the responsibility of pushing the world forward.
And to be honest, as an econ student, I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I wanted to bring doner kebab to China and start a food chain. But during my time at Yenching Academy, I actually realized that politics is much more my thing, so now I'm going back to Europe to pursue my dream and become a European leader, and maybe one day contribute to a peaceful and thriving world environment.
Now, one of the reasons why I was drawn to come study here at YCA was because of YCA's perspective on trying to understand China's engagement in the global south. One of my passions lies in understanding China's engagement in both the African continent and also in the region of Southeast Asia.
One of my favorite experiences at YCA would have to be ice skating on Weiming Lake. The lake froze over right around the time I had finished all my assignments. And ice skating is huge in Czech Republic, where I'm from, so I pretty much went from submitting my last paper straight to the stall with the skates. And I remember the first time I went with my roommate Dixon, whom I hope you'll be able to meet. Just fantastic guy. But it was his first time skating. So obviously for him it was very difficult the first few minutes. He kept falling down, he just was in pain. But he got up every time again. And by the end of, I think, the hour or so, he could do it. I couldn't keep up. He was even later dancing on the lake with his skates on.
Well, there are many moments that I cherish from YCA, but I think the field trip to Chengdu sums it up pretty well. I was able to travel to this great city with my fellow scholars and friends, while also learning from amazing professors and visiting ancestral sites. Also, you can never get enough hot pot, so it was a good place.
And I would say it was global governance with He Yafei. He was a leading diplomat, and he helped a lot to not only allow China's rise, but also to maintain a peaceful and cooperative environment with countries like the United States or the EU.
Undoubtedly, my favorite experience at the Yenching Academy was the informal education that takes place outside of the classroom. While the coursework is interesting, fascinating, and very rigorous, it was those conversations between and outside of classes that were some of the most meaningful, engaging, and lasting conversations that I had during my time there.
I got quite lucky with my course selection. I got most of the classes I wanted, even enjoyed the ones that I didn't at first plan on taking. But if there's one lecture that really stood out, it would have to be, I think, Peter Hessler in Chengdu, which was a talk we were given as part of the Chinese Studies lecture series. Much of our cohort had read his books. I read Oracle Bones the first time around I was living in China, and I feel it really helped me fall in love with my life in China at the time. So to see him give a talk on his later book, Buried, as part of our course, it just felt like I was in the right place.
My memorable class was China in Transition. It was a very exciting course. The scholar can exchange and share opinions on specific topics about China.
My most memorable piece of homework was actually from my Chinese language class, when we were encouraged to leave the classroom, stop somebody on the street, and conduct a simple interview with them. And it was a really simple yet effective exercise that helped me learn more about the lives of everyday Beijingers and to contextualize some of those big issues that we were covering in classes like China in Transition, but through the lens of everyday people.
I miss everything about Beida, but what I miss most is Peking University Library. In the library, I can widely absorb the knowledge of different fields and disciplines, open up my academic horizon, and take my own interest as the guide to experience the true pleasure of reading. I can also simply immerse myself in self-study, consulting materials and writing essays in the quiet, simple, and peaceful learning atmosphere.
I miss about sports even at Beida, especially those football and basketball games. It was very exciting for me to see people from different backgrounds are unified together for a common goal.
I miss the sense of community that we had while we were there. Being able to hang out around the lake with other Yenchingers, that was great. I also love playing football, so being able to hang out and play at the Beida tournament with the Yenching Pumas was amazing.
As probably most people, I improved my cooking since the outbreak. I think following cooking videos in Chinese, I did my own yangpi, 麻辣香锅, 包子, even 灌汤包子, sort of the soup-filled dumplings, 汤圆, the soft rice dumplings with black sesame inside, except I only had poppy seeds. And yeah, alright, those actually didn't work out. They cracked open inside the pot and I was left with poppy seed soup. But if not my cooking, it improved my listening. So I definitely recommend doing that.
Since the outbreak of COVID-19, I have been staying at home, so I have more time to accompany my family than usual. Also, I have been actively paying attention to the development of the academic on the internet and doing things within my abilities, such as donating some money and volunteering to participate in some online activities that are contributing to the fight against the epidemic.
My tip for it is to ask as much as question you can and kindly exchange your perspectives and carefully listen to others' point of view as well. So Yenching Academy provided us a fantastic opportunity to listen and learn about China. At the same time, also a great platform to hear the voice from the global. Therefore, don't hesitate to explore.
Now I know this is an exciting and also anxious time for you right now, and that everything is happening remotely. I know you might have some fears about online learning, but today I'd like to encourage you. Make the most of the opportunity. Try as much as possible to reach out to your peers and even to your professors. Attitude and motivation are key.
I have two big pieces of advice for the incoming cohort. The first is to be prepared to be challenged and to challenge others in their understanding of Chinese affairs, global affairs, and indeed their worldviews. And secondly, it's important that each of us step up and play a role as a brand ambassador for the Yenching Academy. The program is very much still in its infancy, and it's important that we all play our role in helping build and shape the Yenching brand.
My advice for online classes is that you should have a class friend group, because online classes are a lot more difficult to keep track of. Sometimes you get the timing wrong, sometimes your internet is going to be weak. Sometimes you're just not going to hear what the professor says through no fault of your own, and having a friend group keep you accountable to come to class and also to tell you anything you might have missed, or to help you put together all of this information that's coming from different places is critical to your success.
To be honest, my advice is try to get everything done as early as possible and don't stall. If you have the chance to listen to one of the lectures in one day and do the homework right after it, why not do it? And you have the rest of the week or several days of the week free, and you will feel much more relaxed and safer.
北京欢迎你，
欢迎来到燕京学堂，
好好学习。
天天向上。
周杰伦在《Mojito》这首歌唱到了，别浪费时间，介绍收起来。
同学们，加油！
加油，同学们 and see you soon.